Thanks for downloading this special episode of the Nerdball Podcast. I'd said I would use these Mondays for random episodes, and I think this is a good one. Bella Delgado came on. She has a photography business. She used to be an umpire when I was director of umpires. She's a great person, so I wanted her to come on. She's doing a special thing where she's offering senior photo scholarships for kids who would like their photos taken. So we partnered with her and we're able to pay for one of the scholarships, sponsor one of the scholarships. So I wanted her to come on, talk all about her business. Make sure to get her link in the show notes. Check her out. She's pretty affordable. She said that senior photos starting at $50. So check out her website. Again, it's in the comments. Click that. It was a great conversation, short conversation, but again, that's what these Mondays are going to be for, I think, for special one-offs like this. So please check out our website, and thanks for listening.
Hi, this is Bella Delgado, and this is the Nerdball Podcast.
This is the Nerdball Podcast with Lorenzo Melcher.
Awesome, Bella. Thanks for coming on the podcast this morning.
Hi, good morning.
First of all, how you doing?
Good, how are you?
It's good. It's pretty early. In all transparency, I sound super tired because I woke up about 20 minutes ago. I fell asleep on my couch, and then I woke up about 4:15, and I couldn't really go back to sleep. So I tried my best. So a little background. I met you through umpiring. Do you still umpire?
I don't anymore. I did for my first year at college, but that was about it.
Okay. Were you still doing house stuff, or did you ever get into travel?
No, I did house.
Okay. All right. Well, that's how we met. You're a very good umpire. You were, I was never afraid to schedule you by yourself or for certain games. I knew you can handle it, and I could count on you. There's a lot. Sometimes umpires, it might have been a couple times with you. I'd get a text say, "Hey, my partner didn't show up." I'm like, all right, well, sorry, but we'll get it handled. So, thank you for being a good umpire and a good employee. It was again someone I didn't have to worry about. So now you're on here. This is going to be a shorter episode, but you're on here. You have besides your main job, you have a side job, and that's photography. How long have you been dabbling in this?
So I've been playing around with photography for about 2.5 years now, but the business is only opened. We've been open for 6 months now, so it hasn't been very long at all.
What got you into photography?
I've always loved taking photos of things. Ever since I was a kid, we've been making these big photo albums of all these photos I've always taken. This business started though because my friend needed senior photos done, and I was the only friend with a camera. So I took my little Walmart camera and we went out to a park and did her senior photos.
How did it turn out? How did you feel and how did she feel?
I did not think they were gonna at all. I was using, I don't know if you know anything about cameras, but it's a little like Kodak Pix Pro.
Okay.
It's only $100 from Walmart. So did not have very high hopes for the photos, but they actually turned out really good. And she used them like in our yearbook and all that stuff.
Oh.
So I was like, maybe I could do this. And that's how it started. I was like, wow, those weren't bad.
Besides people, are there certain things you like to take pictures of, like, in the city or animals, or what is there something that you like to do? Like if you just said, hey, I'm going to go out, I'm just going to have fun, what are you looking to take pictures of?
I love going on like nature hikes and bringing my camera. My most recent nature hike I went on was in North Carolina.
Oh.
We went to the University of or Charlotte. We went to Charlotte, and they have a botanical garden there, and it's really, really beautiful. And so I brought my camera along, and on my website there's these photos of like just this turtle, which I harassed for like 20 trying to take photos of.
I'll Why you mentioned it, I'll make sure to put your website in the show notes too, so people can click on it, check it out. So do you have favorite, like when people are like, hey, can you take photos of senior photos? Do you have do you have places that you like to go, or do you just let them do it, or how does getting locations work for you?
So it kind of depends. A lot of senior photos are like an awesome opportunity to be creative and like show that person's personality in their photos. So I've done photos, at like graffiti walls. Some have been in the middle of nowhere. We've done some in rivers. A lot of like botanical gardens we use a lot because of the really pretty flowers. Um, Actually talk to Caroline Hannah a lot,
Oh yeah.
helps me like figure out where parks are, or I look at her page for like really cute photos she's taken there. And so she's really helpful with that stuff too.
Yeah, she actually just got a job in Missouri. She's moving to Missouri.
Oh wow, that's
Yeah,
awesome.
she's working at a botanical garden there. So yeah, she used to work at Toledo Botanical Garden, which is an excellent spot for senior photos. May I suggest a few places, because I work for the Metro Parks as well. Um, I worked at Providence Metro Park. It's about a 25-minute drive from here in Grand Rapids, but they have, if you've never been there, they have um, that's where the dam is in the Maumee River. So there's a lot of people that like to go there to see that. There is an old mill. There's, if it's open, you can go inside. There's a big saw. There's all kinds of like old timey stuff there too, which is pretty cool. Um, and then if you want to look at a cool like graffiti wall, uh, they just put one in at my park, Glass City Metro Park downtown in East Toledo. There's a really cool. It's on a bridge, but it's on both sides of the bridge. It's a really cool spot too to take pictures.
That's
But there isn't as much nature there because it's a brand new park,
right.
and flowers and stuff. But you come at the right time. There's some really cool places to take pictures downtown too.
I'm definitely gonna have to check out that new graffiti wall so I don't have to keep driving to Michigan for it.
Oh yeah, yeah. Especially if you have to go all the way out there. Yeah, it's awesome, and I'm really impressed with the art looks awesome, but with the community, because you never know what's going to happen. Like you could put a graffiti wall anywhere and then someone's going to mess with it, but like this wall is remained intact, and it's really sweet. It's really awesome. It's got some cool things, especially like it's all about nature. But with International Park there too, I don't know if you have like if you take senior pictures of rowers, that's where the rowing club is. So there's like a lot of nautical stuff there. There's a museum down from the park too. So there's some cool places at Glass City Metro Park. But that's my park, so I'm kind of a little biased about people going there. Do you do besides senior photos, do you do like family shoots and stuff too?
Yeah, I've been it kind of started out as senior photo specific,
Mhm.
and this season I've done I think 23 family
Oh.
sessions. So we've definitely got some practice this season doing them. Actually, one of my first family sessions was Miss Yarnell.
Mhm.
She worked at Perrysburg Schools as a ceramics teacher, and she let me do her family photos, and I was really excited after that one.
That's cool. Yeah. Yeah. She was on the podcast
Yeah.
a few months ago. Yeah. She's cool. That's great because that's a good senior photos is one thing. It's someone an older kid, adult, slash adult that will listen to you. But then you have families, it's a whole different dynamic because you have, 4, 5, 6 people you're trying to wrangle in one spot, and then if the kids are young, then there might be some tears or they're not looking like how do you manage all that stuff, or do you kind of like say, hey, mom and dad, can you help me out here?
Well, let me tell you, the first shoot, I didn't know how to manage it at all. So I was like looking around, just I don't know what to do. But now, um, so I'm an education major at BG. I learned to use like the things I'm learning in school. And so like I'll talk to the kids and like get down with them and be like, hey, you look so pretty today. Can I take your picture? And all sorts of things. I use all my teacher's secret tricks to try to get them a picture.
Yeah, that's a great use of that. Like I mean, it's obviously something you're going to use when you become a teacher, but to be able to use it right now, is a good skill to hone in on, because that skill's only going to get better the more you use it.
Right.
With families, do you is it mostly like, hey, I'm just going to take a picture of the family the whole time, or are there families that want like for, I guess, for lack of a better term, their own senior photos. Like everyone will get like one thing.
It's definitely interesting. There are some families who want like different groups of people. I actually started putting it on my like questionnaire form
Hmm.
for when they fill out like what do you want to see in your photos? There's, big family, siblings, couples, blah blah, all that kind of stuff. And actually this one family shoot I showed up to, they were like, "Can we also do like a senior photo shoot?" And I was new, so I was like, sure, why not? what Whatever. And we did it, and he ended up really liking them. But now, it's easier knowing like what to expect going into a family shoot, because you kind of take a picture of like all of the subgroups and the big group all together.
Yeah, I would imagine there's a lot of learning as you're starting this business and doing different photo shoots. And there's no shortage of people trying to take advantage. Sounds negative, but even just a little bit of like, hey, we're here for this family photo shoot, but while we're here, can you do this extra thing real quick? You're already here, you already got your camera out, can you do this thing? And being new, you're gonna be like, you don't want to turn away business, and you're gonna say yes. But as you learn more things, and that form might get, add a few more questions, here or there, just once you figure it out, or you keep getting the same request in a certain shoot, so you put it on there to say like, hey, if this is something you want to do, let me know. But that's good that you have that too.
Yeah.
And I'm sure people are thankful for it too, because everybody's time is valuable. So the more you can understand, more you and the client can understand, like, let's get these pictures and get out. Everyone, especially with kids, you got a certain time limit, that and you won't be able to bring a kid back from crying.
Yeah, very true.
Do you do this? Is this you by yourself, or anybody else involved?
Just me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it stressful at all?
Um, it can be. I have a lot of ideas going on usually in my head. Like, so putting them into action is always like a lot more work than I like have in my head. Like to me, it's like a small idea and it'll like pan out right away. But then like when I sit down to do the steps, I'm like, wow, this is a lot. And and I work two jobs and I'm going to school. So like
Oh my.
balancing and doing the business with all my ideas is sometimes, a lot.
What do you find when you're juggling all these things? What do you find that you usually is the first thing that to like cut and be like, all right, well, I'm not doing that tonight. I got these other things I got to do.
I don't know. I stay up. Because then I don't want to sleep, because I'm sitting there, I'll be laying in bed thinking like, I should just do it. Just do it.
Oh, so even if you do give yourself that out, like, hey, I'm not going to worry about it today, you're just going to be still thinking about it.
Yeah. Or I'll sit there and write in a book like all of my ideas. They'll be gone by the morning.
Yeah.
Any be gone.
Do you have? I would imagine, because you're writing down these ideas, there's some that you wrote down and then have never thought about again. Is there time? Do you give yourself time in the day to like go through it and kind of like um fine tune them to the point where you can actually like do these things?
Yeah, so it usually starts out with me like scrolling on social media or coming up with something out of the blue that I think is, a really good idea. And then I write it down and then I sit there and stare at it for about 30 minutes. Everything that goes into this, I'm like, this is this plausible for me? And like recently I decided I was gonna do like a model call for my business. So I would have like models on call to use when I have like my weird creative ideas. And I didn't realize how much like went into that. Like I was like, they have to fill out this form and sign this contract, and I have to have photos of them. And I was like, wow.
So
Learning
then,
new.
so then you just start calling your family instead, like, all right, hey, do this.
Pretty much.
um, I see too that you have a shirt. You
Yeah.
have a little apparel. Yeah. Is it
I
a?
I have a graphic designer person. I guess there is one person other than me because me and the cricket just don't get along. Um, But she made this shirt. She actually goes to my college, and I just had a class with her one day, and I was complaining about the Cricut and not being able to use it. She's like, "Oh, I could probably do it." And so she did, and like she made a killer shirt, and I've been using it like during sessions, and I think I'm really cool because I have a shirt.
Well, it's always nice to have like especially with something with your name on it, and because you should feel cool and proud that like this is something you're doing. You created this thing, and it's and I'm sure there's been many people that helped you along the way, but this is your thing, and you should be proud about it and want people to know, and the next step is as old as it sounds, is I have business cards for my podcast just because it's like an easy thing. There's a QR code on the back that someone can just scan. It goes right to my website. Like all these things. It seems, like I said, it seems old, but people seem to like it. Stickers too. People love stickers. And little kids. I've had a lot of parents say they found my podcast because I gave their kid a sticker and they wanted to know what that sticker was.
Right.
Yeah. So, but yeah, you should be excited. You should be proud. It is exciting to like want to do your own thing and see it succeed. Um, one thing, and it's kind of why I wanted to bring you on here is you decided for this year that you were going to give away scholarships for basically a free photo session for senior photos. How did that idea come about, and why did you decide to do that?
So yeah, we have a senior scholarship, the scholarship going on right now. It opened on January 2nd and goes until March 17th. That started because in high school I had a lot of friends who could not afford senior photos. Like that just was not going to be in the budget, and they kind of just accepted that they couldn't get them. And that's senior photo sessions usually start out at about $150, which isn't really affordable for like an everyday family. No one I know just has $150 laying around for a
Yeah.
senior photo session. And so in doing this, we wanted to create a scholar. Me, I don't know why I always say we.
You know what? I do that too. And I think it's good because it gives the illusion. I always say, and when I do my own social media, I do it for the podcast, but I say, hey, we over at the podcast, or I do that too because it get like it gives the illusion that there's more people involved. And
Right.
I think that's okay. I think you could say that.
We okay, well,
There you go.
that's where that's staying.
Yep, you're good.
We have been working on this for a really long time. We are awarding one to a high school student, a college student, and then the third scholarship is going to go to a student who we think is like the most deserving out of the group.
Okay.
Who just kind of stands out to us. This year, actually, we have our very first sponsor, which is really cool because we've never had that before. The royal we. So I wanted to say thank you for sponsoring that third scholarship. That was really exciting to have you reach out about that.
Yeah, it's our pleasure over here at the Nerdball Podcast to do that. Hey, I know it's a lot of work to do your own thing, and you're already doing a good thing by like giving these things away. How much do you normally charge for a senior photo session?
So it's $50 for a senior photo session.
Yeah, so that's just money out of your pocket where you're helping people, which is a great thing. And by you starting this business, I want to help you too, and hopefully A, it's less money that you got to give, and B, it's maybe you get more business out of it too. People was like, oh, she's doing this thing, and we can afford to pay, so we're going to pay because she's so nice and offering these scholarships. So it was for me, it was a no-brainer that I wanted to do something. Plus I know you like I said at the beginning, we have a relationship, and you're a good person. If you were a terrible human being, I wouldn't be but you're a wonderful person. It's good to hear that you're going into education because I think you make a great teacher just based on how you interact with the kids on the softball and baseball diamond. So it's cool to see that you're doing this thing and that you're enjoying it. Seemingly, I just assume you're enjoying it, but I guess you wouldn't do it if you didn't enjoy it.
I definitely have to enjoy it to stick with it this long.
Yeah. Well, here's what I'll tell you. Here's what I'll do. I will put your website in the show notes. Can people, if they go to your website, can they find that Google form there too?
Yeah, they can. It's under
Okay.
like and announcements.
Okay. All right. So look for that as you're listening or watching this podcast on YouTube. Bella, I will let you go. I know you have to work. Bella, I appreciate you coming on, talking about your business. I will make sure to keep pushing this until you say, "Hey, we have 3 people. We don't need any more."
Yeah.
But I want to make sure people hear this and understand, like, hey, this is a great opportunity. You're doing a good thing. Keep shouting out your business. We haven't gotten family photos done in a while, so maybe I'll give you a call and we'll schedule something out. So,
Yeah, absolutely.
all right. Well, Bella, have a great day. Thanks again for coming on.
Thank you.
Thanks again to my guest, Bella Delgado, for coming on the podcast. Again, these Mondays, I think this is what it's for. This is a perfect opportunity to have someone on, use this platform to talk about her business. It was great. Great what she's doing. She's having a lot of blast. That sounds stupid. She's having a blast, having a lot of fun. Please check out her website. It's in the show notes. Click on it. If you have a senior looking for a scholarship opportunity to get some free photos taken, check that out. Again, we are happy here at the Nerdball Podcast to sponsor one of those scholarships. So we will be working with her to pick an individual who is deserving and who we think is deserving, and help someone out with getting some senior photos taken. So thanks again to Bella. Thanks to all of you. Please continue to like, share, review, subscribe to this podcast. It's a blast doing it, and we're going to keep doing it. I don't think I've used the word blast so many times in my life. So we will end it now. Thanks to, as always, thanks to Real JP Multimedia, Cuttlefish Graphics, Perrysburg Junior High STEM Lab, and Big Daddy Graphics for always helping out the podcast. Thanks for listening. We'll see you next time.